And I was like, you know what? It's one black thing. I was like, there's white and gold and pink. And then like I changed it around a little bit while they were filming one of the other scenes. And I was like, hey. I was like, it doesn't look like a Sarah set anymore, but you didn't know I knew about those colors, huh?
Do you try to like? Do you challenge yourself like creatively ever to like step out of?
All the time.
You know what I mean? Step out of
All
that
the time.
realm.
Yeah.
Because just to be honest, I think you got that realm, fucking clack clack. Like you locked that down. Like I love
Thank you.
your art, like your style and everything like that. I think you do that great.
Can you tell that to my mom?
I will. I'll talk to her. It's kind of what I do.
Yeah, like I mean, because like I've done paintings for like my people in my family and stuff, which they don't like the stuff that I make. They don't want that in their house. So I've done like colorful, like they're interesting, and like same thing with my makeup. Like sometimes like I'll get like a comment and people will be like, "Oh, do a look with these colors." And like one time it was like yellow. I'm like, "That's the most disgusting color. I'm doing it." So
that's so crazy that you said that because I was at the jail this morning.
Casually.
Yeah. Just chilling at the jail.
Crazy.
But I was speaking to the dude about, because like our ethnicities, we're called yellow, right? And I did this, like, I don't know if you know who David Cho is.
Yeah.
But he would do like a 5-minute video on every color. So the color blue, the color red, and he'd just go off about that color. It's so cool. And his color yellow is so dope, bro. You should watch it.
Yeah, no, I definitely.
I love David Cho, by the way. He's a beast.
We're back on Facebook.
Are we?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it again. Are you on YouTube?
Yeah, I'll do it on both.
Let's see. Let's see. And you changed the title? Let me see that.
Yeah, you did.
All right.
Good
so
job,
if you
buddy.
if you follow the Mo Shai Show,
So proud of you.
you follow it on YouTube?
Yeah. Hold on.
Share it from there if you can. I'm gonna share it from there too.
Are we not doing it on YouTube?
There it is.
Yeah, it's on there.
Oh, there it is. Wonderful.
But it looks like it's about to end or something.
It's supposed to. It's all right. You've seen it like that before.
Oh, okay.
Truthfully, the YouTube drags a little bit more live. It's better to watch on Facebook.
All right.
Heard.
All right.
See, that's that producer talk right there. See, that's a professional, right? You know, thank you. All right, I'm on it.
All right. Let me know when y'all good.
I'm on it.
Did you do it?
Let's do it. I'm on it. Are you on it?
I'm about to be now.
Yeah. Everybody share. Share or be square.
Oh, that nervous feeling just came back.
Oh,
again.
good. We need that. Those feelings are so significant. That sits you up a little bit.
Nah,
Deep
fam,
breaths.
go.
Okay, I gotta do my freaking job now. Okay. That's good.
Did you get it
I always
Yes.
tell Christian shit like that. If he like we were watching he was doing a documentary, right? It was in a big theater.
My wife was locked and watching.
And he was like, dude, I'm freaking nervous. I was like, that's what I'm talking about, man. This is a great feeling. You're supposed to be nervous. Look, your film is like this. He was like, dude, just fucking walked away from me. I'm following him around like, no, this is awesome. This is great. Look at that feeling means something.
Oh, and? Oh. Okay. Awesome.
Oh, is she doing that? Yeah. Damn right she is.
All right. Are y'all boys ready?
I'm ready.
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, goblins and gremlins, and everyone in between, welcome to the Most High Show.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
your host tonight, Sarah with an H, filling in for
Yes.
Christian while he's off being a dad and a husband.
California boy.
Joining me tonight in the honorable seats of service, we have the David Cleope
Hello.
and his friend Gerald or Junior. He's got lots of names I learned tonight. And boy, howdy, do y'all have a story to share for us tonight.
Yes, we do.
Shout out to Chad on the ones and twos tonight, and
That
Leslie.
boy's a producer. That boy's a producer.
And Leslie, all the way in California, still on quality control. And in studio, we have Alyssa helping us out on quality control
Thank you.
well.
Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you, West Coast Leslie. West Side Leslie.
All right, well, let's get started.
Let's do it.
Well, David, you've been on the show before.
I have. I've been here a couple times. Yes. Yes, I have.
For our new listeners, go ahead and just reintroduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are.
All right. My name is David C. I'm a big friend of the show. I've been hanging out here for a minute. I just love the community here and like what kind of like organically happens. I don't know if it's that organically, but what happens here, I think, Christian moves the dials a lot to, make things happen for the Most High Show and the community around it. So I love being a part of it. I met him on this show, and he actually was a big part of helping me with my career. You know what I mean? He got me he pointed me in the right direction to, start my job professionally. And man, we've been best buds ever since. So it's an honor to sit here in this seat of service. Seats, you said plural, since there's two of us. One of the seats of service.
Are we going to do more counting?
Yeah, no.
You did so good during sound check.
My bad.
Well, it's good to have you back on the show.
Absolutely.
It's been
Thank
a
you for
minute.
letting me be here.
And Junior, you are a new face here tonight. So why don't you give us an introduction and where are you from? Who are you? Why are you here?
What are you doing,
It's a
man?
gigantic question.
Give us a gigantic answer, but briefly.
We got all the time.
So my name is Gerald, but my friends call me Junior. I am a lot of things: addict, substance abuse counselor, father, husband, friend, million different things. Yeah, I love doing what I do. I think there's nothing better than helping other people out and seeing them, kind of strive and overcome their obstacles, right? That's why I do what I do.
Nice.
Oh, yes, where I'm from? Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. Born and
Seaburg's
raised.
in the house.
Yes,
Put
sir.
them on the map tonight.
Good old Chambersburg.
I'm bugging out right now. I'm not going to lie to you.
I can tell. It's that bang.
Now that this is happening, like
Officially happening.
being here in Atlanta with Junior, us being on this show, just blows my mind. a little
Yeah.
bit. I ain't going to lie
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
It means a
Fangirling.
lot. It's special.
Yeah, the story behind it is crazy.
Oh, I can't wait to get into all that.
Yeah.
So, we've established you guys know each other from back in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you guys meet originally?
Jail. We've known the same people.
Well, Chambersburg isn't the biggest town, and then when you think about a town that's not so big, and then you kind of like cut it to the minorities, all of us know each other.
Yeah.
So Junior and I didn't meet until we were in our 20s in jail, but I knew almost all of his family. He knew my family.
Yeah.
Our generations before us knew each other a lot better than we did when we met each other.
So your whole families knew each other.
Whole family.
Yeah.
And you knew
I'm
each
not
other's
even
families,
exaggerating.
just not each other.
Yeah.
Just not each other at that
and
time.
friends, all that.
Yeah, friends too.
How did
sure.
y'all not meet?
You know what? I was just thinking about that before. I think I'm older than Junior, so I think that meant something. And then I think like a lot of your time was kind of like in a different, like you spent some time in Shippensburg too, in that area, right?
For a few years, for like
So
5 or 6
Shippensburg's like a
years.
neighboring town.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like 10, 15 minutes away from Chambersburg.
Yeah.
So yeah, and all his friend group, like I knew some of them, but not
Yeah.
the ones that were just, connected to him as much. But
Yeah.
you do know of everybody.
We know I knew of him.
Yeah.
I knew his mom and stuff like that, so I knew her kids. You know what I mean? But I never hung out with them like that.
Yeah.
Until we got to jail.
Till we got to jail.
So y'all met in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was-
you were there first, right? Like you were with Mac and Doug.
So we got
Right
like
there.
a friend group That's so funny to call it a friend group.
Yes, it
We
is.
got homies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why I'm trying to like talk like that. I don't even know if we have a friend group. I never say shit like that. But
Prison pals.
we have mutual best friends, right? So what happened was Junior kind of has best friends that I didn't know as well, right? But I met his friends first, and we became very close. But Junior was in another county doing time.
Yeah.
And then when they call it like an overflow, like when they transfer people from counties to counties to like drop them off, he got dropped off in our jail, and then that's where our relationship started. And we was already kind of clicked
Well,
in
no,
together.
I was a co-defendant. I was back in.
Oh, that's right. That's why you was
I was
up
like
there.
the last person they had to come get.
That's
So
right.
they were there just had a little bit ahead of
But
time.
you was in the rotunda first, right? And then you came down. You came down with, because I remember seeing you on the basketball court,
Yeah.
and like I walked up and I was like you know, husky. Like back then, he was like a powerlifting type of dude. So it was like the biggest back in the jail. And he was like, "That's my boy Junior." And he was like turned around, like, "What's up?" I was like, "Damn, what's up, Junior? How you doing, man? Nice to meet you." Yeah.
So you had already established like friendships with his friends.
Yeah.
So by the time
Yeah.
I got nervous, he said big back. I'm like, I can't defend myself.
Husky.
So by the time he came to the same jail, it was
Yeah, it was the
ice
connection
had already been broken.
The
for
connection
you.
was already broken, and then like the two guys that we're talking about are not even from our town, but we were from the town, so we were just like automatic. Oh yeah, you're da 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 da. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're.
Okay.
And so we knew a lot of the same people.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
We became instantly
Instant
like,
friends, yeah.
We were crew instantly. So
That's
when
what-
you're
yeah,
in
for sure.
when you're in those type of environments, it's almost like, you know, it's not like how well can we be friends. It's like,
No.
oh, you cool with them and you cool with me, and
Yeah.
we're over here.
Yeah, yeah.
That type of
Okay.
thing. If
I
that
got
makes-
you. That's like
if
whenever
that makes any sense.
whenever I'm over here, like on a different, similar but different, but when I'm on this side of town and
Yeah.
someone knows where, not only where Ackworth is, like where I'm from, and they, you know, have been to Ackworth, it's always
Right.
like, oh, what's your Glade Road story?
Yeah. Yeah, something just like that. Exactly.
And
yeah.
it's like, cool, I might never see you again, but I'll remember you for life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and so did you guys, so obviously you guys continued a friendship after
Mm-hmm.
jail.
Absolutely.
Was that the only time you guys were in jail together?
Well, so funny you asked.
That's my job.
So what happened was we became very good friends, and then we all kind of got out around the same time. So for me, it was like, because, you know, it was funny because we were talking about California sober over there. Like for me, for a lot of my life, like being sober is just smoking weed and drinking. So I would go see those dudes, like y'all dudes, but then when I'd slip up, I'd disappear from that crowd because they were like, I really valued their friendship and respect for
Yeah.
me. And then when I'd like relapse, well, relapse is a relapse, but when I would do hard drugs,
Yeah.
I would not be around them purposely. So I'd disappear. And then that happened quickly after we got to know each other on the streets pretty well. And
Yeah.
then I kind of went on the run. And then we all ended up back in jail together again at the same
That's
time.
Chambersburg. That's
Yeah.
how, that is how it operates. for
It was
sure.
so cool
Yeah.
too. For me, it was cool because they were already there when I came in this time. So, and we were all in this work release program. So when I came in, I was like, "Oh, y'all here? What are y'all doing? Oh man, this is great. What y'all doing?" So
The band
we
was
got
back
to hang-
together.
Yeah, and we got to hang out for a good while.
Yes,
So
we
you
did.
guys were in jail together, but you guys were never arrested together?
No.
No.
Oh, see, that's what I assumed, but
No,
from this
no,
little
no, no.
synopsis.
No, the other
No.
two gentlemen we're discussing, I was arrested with them.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, like I said, I kind of joined that friend
Yeah.
group.
Yeah. I guess that's how you.
They
Yeah.
were
So you left your California sober friends? Or was
That's
he-
them. They
Oh.
are my California sober friends. So if I'm just smoking and drinking, I can be around them, and
But when
like
he
we
gets to
would,
the other
you know,
level,
we
yeah.
get together, we play spades, we do that kind of stuff. But then when I would always take and this happened repeatedly in our relationship when I disappeared, sometimes for years. You know what I mean? Like then I'd come back and I'd keep coming back to them, like, you know, this is my
Yeah.
when I'm doing good, I'm with them.
Yeah.
And then I would never want to like infect them when I'm doing super crazy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
So I
so
purposely stay away.
You can get arrested even if you're California sober, is what I'm hearing.
Well, I'm still
was-
unmanageable even in that area. Even in those areas of my life, drinking and smoking, I don't do very well in that. And you know, if that's just the case too, you know what I mean? My life becomes unmanageable regardless, you know.
So how many years was that going on? You guys just crossing paths in jail and outside
in jail,
of that?
not.
Because you said repeatedly.
We were in jail twice, 2 times together,
Yeah.
right? So
Okay.
the first time when we were going to trial,
Yeah.
we were all in jail together, me and the other 2. And then when we got sentenced, like 2 years later,
Right.
then we were back in jail. We went back to jail, and then he came in after that. So that was the only 2 times we ever like did time together.
Right.
Okay.
But on the street, we hung out. Like
Then things got. Then what happened was, it was almost like, so he became very good friends with my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of, you know, it's a weird. It's not weird, but it's funny just to be saying this on a show about this but he became good friends with my cousin, and then like his life kind of started getting extra wild,
Yes,
right?
it did.
With
Yes, it
with
did.
substances, right?
Yeah.
But even then, right, I would do this. This is exactly what I do. Like we would hang out again, even in that realm. Not all of us, but him and I and a couple of my other friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because we were doing like a little bit, you know, our lifestyle was becoming a little bit more unmanageable.
Yeah.
Right. So, but even then, I would like take it up another notch. And
he
then
would, yeah. He would.
I
still
would like, I would see Junior, like, this is my best friend. I'd be like, we'd come to the same place where all the shit was at. And I'd say, hey, Junior, what's up? And then I'd like disappear. And I'd be like, see y'all later. And I'd like dip out. And that's how I was seeing him for a long time.
Yeah.
Besides if he was at my house or something like that for a little while. I know this sounds crazy. This is
Yeah, I'm really trying to find like how did y'all even become so close if you were just saying hello and goodbye?
Well, there was like, it's not 24/7 like that. Like, I mean, I guess our bond was made like while we're incarcerated.
Oh, 100%.
Sober.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Where we're trying to like have ideas and getting to know each other, trying to like, you know, think about getting our lives straight and what that even looks like. You know what I mean? And we looked out for each other in those places too. You know what I mean? So like, one of the big things I always say about Junior is when I first met him, I didn't have anything like God. I had no belief in a God or anything like that, right? So when we just started becoming like cool with each other, and I was giving him and another friend of ours like this whole gist on who I thought Jesus was, and it was something along the line like, listen, he was with these dudes. Okay, I read this story. Like, he was with these dudes. Everybody was like desperate for something. He stepped in with his boys and turned the party out and like had everybody believe in this new way. And he had people sweating him like that. He was hustling.
Can I
like,
have you rewrite the Bible?
Yeah.
That was his
They
interpretation.
got the Gen Z Bible. Can we get the David C Bible?
So I had no idea, you know, where his spirituality has been, you know, even then, like really strong, and where his belief system was at, and him and another guy. So I kind of like opened up a can of worms in this conversation, but it wasn't like we wasn't ever arguing about it. We was just talking.
Dude, it was midnight. We did it.
Yeah, it was real late.
Everybody else was asleep unless they was up listening to us because we were playing chess.
Yeah.
Like so.
This was in jail.
Yeah,
You guys were
on
up
work
late
release. Yeah,
Up late.
talking about Jesus.
we talked till like 8 o'clock in the morning. I think. Yeah, played chess.
It
the whole
was
time.
crazy.
How did
Yeah.
that happen?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We was just hanging out.
And
you
it
know,
just-
like when you're in places like that, like if you want to get peace of mind or you really want to like chill with who you want to chill with, you kind of like change your night and day. So when
Yeah,
everybody's
absolutely,
sleeping,
yeah.
we
Yeah.
get up and we like, and this is like a minimal secure, like a work release. So we're in cubicles.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, and nobody at that time, we was younger dudes. So if we were like gregarious or loud, not too many people bitched about it. They just, you know, they just did. And we wasn't mad disrespectful.
No, never.
But that night in particular, you know, before the night was over, and I'm like spewing what I thought about God. Like, you know, when you're incarcerated, there's not you know, if you got time to do anything, you got time to do everything. You know what I mean? There. So I did it. I really gave it a true shot after the conversation because I just felt something that was so like, it was like non-judgmental. It was like not coming back. Like I tried to create like a debate scenario, right? And they were just giving me love back. So I never could like position myself to even defend myself at all. I just made this statement and the conversation carried on from there. Yeah. And I just was like really impressed with like what they believed. And so I tried it. And that just kicked off like, I don't know, this show's not even long enough for the things that like blatantly was happening after like one sincere prayer. Like, and that's, I mean, it's a big story, but
that's how it works.
It was amazing.
And so was this kind of like the start of y'all's recovery journey? Or was this?
No.
All right.
No.
Because even though but I can't really read to comprehend. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
I'm reading the words, I can pronounce them, and then I'll turn the page, and I was like, what? And like, you know, back then, like, you know, the King James version of the Bible was the only one, and like hard for me to read Dick
I'm
and
sorry.
Jane, and I'm in a whole old English. I don't know what I'm reading really. You know, I just had this belief. So I didn't have at that time, and for the longest time after that, I didn't take advantage of the tools that I believe God put in front of me to like help me receive it.
So that was kind of like the seed was planted.
Yes,
but
that's
it
exactly
didn't
what.
start yet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about,
And,
Sarah.
and the Bible
See
says,
that?
you know, one's gonna water, one's gonna plant.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of how.
So
Yeah,
when
works.
did the recovery start? Like, who got sober first? Did you guys do it together? Like, what did that look like?
We didn't do it together.
No, it wasn't a team effort at all.
No.
That'd have been cute though.
Yeah.
Because we were both in state prison.
Let's go be clean.
Yeah, they'll make a Hallmark movie out of it.
But see, but institutions, even though we did 2 like jail bits together, institutions followed the both of us for
after that.
years
Yeah,
after that.
Yeah. We still were going.
And we
back
were
and
going to
forth.
state prisons,
Yeah.
but when you talk about state prisons, it's very rare if him and I are going to go to the same place. So we were doing a lot of time incarcerated, but in different places.
Different places.
So
yeah.
even the fact that you guys were together twice is like,
Yeah.
what
And
were
it was
the
powerful.
chances?
It was very powerful.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure. That you know, him, Mac, Douglas, and 3 of my most like my best friends for a long time. Ever since those days, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It all started there.
We've always been tight. Yep, it all started there. Because in there, you know, we all had each other's back. We had some people that would try to sneak their way in, but we wouldn't allow it. We were, you know.
We kept it between, you know, we kept it real with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So for sure.
And it was very special for me because, you know, at that time, like I said, they were already had this really established brotherhood, and I kind of like was kind of a loner in a way. I mean, a lot of people knew me. I had friends, but I like nothing that clicked with me to like get very close to, as I can call like this is my tribe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that did a lot for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, and how long have each of you guys been sober?
This is my 14th year of sobriety.
Yeah. I'm
That's
right,
what's up.
right there with him.
Yeah.
Okay, because you guys have the unique experience of you guys were out there together, you guys were incarcerated together, now y'all are both sober, and you're both counselors.
From the same exact
So
group.
how
And
how
that's-
did you guys go copy paste?
My answer to that is that night we had that conversation is where it was supposed to happen. All of it was supposed to happen.
It kind of led up to, it was almost like when I look back at that time of my life, it's like it's like the perfect pieces of puzzles fitting together to like really sit us right here, right now.
Right here, yep.
It just works. It just fits so right. You know what I mean? And but as far as actually gaining the occupation and going back to school, and like having a career path, I don't think we
kind of did that separately.
Yeah,
too,
that
until we
was
figured
all
out-
separate.
Until we figured out we were doing it.
Yeah, it was like, oh,
Like-
you doing that too? Oh,
Yeah,
me too.
until we figured out we didn't know we were,
Yeah.
at all. Until it came from conversation, I guess. One of us said it.
I think it was like, a mutual friend of ours like, oh, Junior's going to school too. I was like, what's he going to school for? He's like, oh, are you in college right now? You at university? Yeah. So I was like, yeah, me too. You know, Vanessa just got me in there. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
it was. It
That
was
wasn't
just
planned out either.
I don't know. I don't
That
have
was-
no
yeah.
idea. It wasn't like we sat down, you know, in recovery and said, you know what, Junior, we got to start giving back. Okay, let's go get us an education together. We didn't do it. It was none of that. It was a total separate. It was a total separate deal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
was.
But what was funny is that as soon as we realized that, because he graduated a little earlier than I did, so once I got my degree, I'm like, and I was already moved to Atlanta then, right? I was like, yo, I mean, we was talking all the time back and forth then. I was like, yeah, we need to do something like online. We like created Facebook pages. Like we're not like Chad, the producer back here, who's an IT savage back there doing this thing. Okay?
Yeah, he knows how to play
He knows how to do he can share, then I can share off of him just like that. Nothing like that.
Yeah,
We were
you
more
show
like
up
we
and
created
talk
the page.
shit.
We just created the page, and that was as far as him
Yeah,
and I. That
I
was
was
as
like,
far as we
the
knew
name.
what to do.
Like we were
had
like,
the
what's
name.
the name? We gotta make a name, man. We're both counselors. Like it kind of dawned upon us that we had to do something together, and we didn't try very well to accomplish it. But we made a Facebook page.
We did.
What did you
And a
name it?
YouTube channel, I think.
Crooks to Books.
That makes it sound like y'all are CPAs now. We can do your taxes.
But the idea,
But probably won't allow us to do taxes.
but the idea of it, honestly, and that's not something that I did away with. Like it's still
there,
It's still
yeah.
somewhere there, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
what
absolutely.
we really wanted to do was really create like a practice of somehow that's focused on fathers
Mm-hmm.
and reuniting with their children after incarceration. You know, we had some experience in those realms a lot. So we thought we could really be helpful, especially with some degrees. I was like,
Yeah.
we can
Yeah, for
step
sure.
into these places. We can step into there and really make a difference. It's just we were so far away from each other at that time.
Yeah.
So and I had no idea how to really like navigate like telehealth. It was way before COVID.
There was- yeah, it
So
was, yeah,
telehealth wasn't even thought of in my head, at least at the time. But I'm still thinking about it. Like,
Well, I think it'll happen.
Yeah.
I think it'll happen, and specifically for that population.
because you do a lot more telehealth than I do, but I still do it, so I know how to navigate that. It's just, I guess, just creating an audience for
That's
it.
all it is.
Doing
That's all
something
it
like
is.
that. It would have to be online probably. Or
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay, and would you guys be doing it from like you would be here and you'd
Yeah,
stay in
that would-
Pennsylvania?
that would
or
be
you
Yeah,
the-
think-
something like that.
That would be the plan. Yeah.
Okay.
I see it more like just as a combined effort to like have like a combined effort to do from his area and my area, try to make an impact for fathers that are coming out of jail, transitioning out of jail, reuniting with their family, and just being a part of that whole fold, like being there for that whole process and trying to be
Yeah.
helpful in that. You know,
That's
what I
a
mean?
huge thing. Like I've seen, like most of my friends are single parents, whether it's single mom,
Mm-hmm.
single dad, or were estranged from their family for a long time. And so having been able to witness, my friends become reunited with their kids,
Yeah,
and just
it's big.
it's so like, even though I personally never want kids, but it's like,
Right.
watching that, being like, that's not something I want to experience or go
But
through.
you can't
but
help
it's
but-
like, yeah, it's like watching those
help but
coming
have-
home videos, when like the soldiers come home and surprise their kids. And it's like, oh,
I don't
I'm
know.
crying.
I can't, man, I will go on a whole spree of watching that. If I see one, I just want to see
Yeah.
the next one and just cry. See the next one. Oh,
Yeah,
at that, that's
and that's
real.
like how I'm feeling, like listening to you guys
Yeah.
talk about wanting to have that impact on these fathers. It's like, I don't know, it makes me feel warm inside. I don't feel that a lot.
But yeah, we're still, I mean, not that we, spend a lot of time talking about it, but just now, I'm just saying it's still really in my head to do something in there. And I guess, when you get older, you get more patient and just
Yeah.
pray about
I think
things
it'll
like
come.
that. Yeah.
I think it'll come.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I really feel like a lot of the focus, I mean, like, not saying it's a bad thing, but a lot of focus is on the mothers, you
Yeah.
know, and like the dads get to be deadbeat, and that's that.
Yeah.
So I think, having a soft spot for that, having been through that and being able to help others in that process is just very powerful. And, taking that, like in recovery, they say like, we have the unique experience to be able to help another
Right.
addict or alcoholic the way nobody else can. And then you guys can take it that step further and be like, and then also, reuniting
Yeah.
with your kids.
I think that's a big thing. I think, and it's not necessarily like, you know, the only reason I would think about us focusing in on that population is just because we know that population.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
complexities of reuniting with your children after institutions or incarceration for moms, dads, uncles, best friends, all that. It's so complex when you're trying to change your life and people have viewed you in a totally different way. And then you're trying to reconnect while you're starting to become a different person, or at least attempting to.
Yeah.
That whole journey is really like, you would think, hey, I'm trying to change my life. I'm not using drugs anymore, guys. I'm back. Like, I'm back and I'm better. But everybody else's reaction is like, it's not open arms and rainbows, man. It's just like, what? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, there's no, really, I haven't established any trust yet. You know what I mean? It's not like it's probably not the first time any of these parents or people that are trying to reconnect haven't said this before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's like they're all they can go off of is the last interaction
Absolutely.
they
Yeah.
had. But like
Yeah.
I've even seen that homecoming go badly.
Absolutely.
You know, where it's like, you know, like one of my childhood best friends, remember her dad spent a few years in prison, and then, you know, he went in when she was like a young teenager, came out, she was an adult.
Yeah.
And so then he tried to treat her like she was still that young teenager, and she was like, excuse me.
Oh
You know,
my
and then,
gosh.
you know, just continued to watch that relationship just, you know, drift and drift and drift until it turned violent. And it was like, wow, what happened there? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I mean, that's like that. What you just described could easily have been my story. It could have been easily something like that, because, you know, like when you have years to try to plan a picture of what you want your life to look like, I mean, years, like you're painting this Picasso of what your life is going to be after you leave this
After you leave, yeah.
institution, right? But what happens is, you know, like, you know how you got the canvas and you're painting and it's all beautiful. Well, right when you get that and you're getting ready to show everybody, show the world, just get one of those big wide paint brushes with red, like the ones you paint the wall, and just go from corner to corner, brah. And then, but you still got to work with that.
well, that's my
You
favorite
see
way
what
to
I mean?
paint.
Yeah. I was thinking about that.
I was like, it's a
when you
bad
were
analogy
listening-
here, David.
No, when you were listening, I sounded attractive to you. I felt like, oh, she's vibing with that idea. It's like a red.
It's wonderful.
But it wasn't the picture that I was thought it would be when I came home. And I came home to a lot of children, man. You know, all girls, all, you know, preteens to teenagers, and I was like really gung-ho because I was changed. I thought I was changed. I'm going to show everybody who I am. Like, you're going to be back at school. I'm going to be here. What time you going to sleep? I'm coming over tonight. Dad's going to do this. I remember chasing my one daughter down while she was trying to skip school, stopping her at like a four-way stop, jumping out of the car. Where are you going? And she taking off, and I run back. I catch her. Like, I was doing stuff like that. I was like at like parent-teacher. I would make parent-teacher meetings, like, and I didn't even know the teachers, but I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm Kalea's dad. Like, I'd like to have a meeting with, you know, all her teachers and everything like that. And like, I wouldn't even tell her. So I'm sitting there with the teachers and everything like that. And they call her down, and my daughter's just like,
Like,
you
listening to that, all I
Are
could
you
think
being
was
for
like,
real?
okay, crazy.
yeah,
Like,
are you being front? I'm like, yeah, I'm dad. Dad's home, and I'm gonna take care of anything. And I almost like ruined, like, it was
Yeah.
a horrific start to me reuniting with my children. And I don't know, and it wasn't me. It wasn't like I saw that at that time and was like, oh, wait a minute, I got to fix this. This isn't going to work out. Hold on, I need a new, different approach. And like, I say this like all the time. Like, the only way that I can explain these things is like, I sincerely wanted a close relationship. I wanted to be a dad to my children again, and I believe like God answered my prayer in that way. Like, that's the only way I can explain it, because I didn't have a plan of like how to execute not doing it this way anymore. It kind of just unfolded that way. Like, you know, I backed off. I was there in a better way. I was like, you know, I took the time to kind of like get to know them a little better, try to adjust to me being back in their lives. And nobody explained it to me. Nobody said, listen, you know, you need to chill out. Like, you know, I'm just going off the reaction that my kids are not liking what I'm doing right now. That's it.
Yeah.
And what am I going to do to change it? That's it.
And
No
what
plan.
about, did you have an integration like that when you came home? Or?
No, I didn't have my first son until my last time upstate, so back in 2008. So I didn't come home to any children.
Okay.
Yeah, I had him a year after I came home. So for me, I didn't have that, like I said, again, that integration with another child, just with family members, friends. Stayed with my dad for 6 months, maybe. No, actually, no, I'm lying. A little bit longer than that. Got a job with. A man hooked me up with a job I need to get. I need to get back.
See, this is a big story.
I
to try to line it up.
Yeah,
right?
and it was a perfect job because this time around I decided to do things slower. I didn't hang out with anybody. Nobody really knew I was home. I was living in Brownsville. So that's in the mountains. My wife and certain family members knew.
Just real quick, so in my town, like that town that he's talking about, it's a whole town, right? Kind of like in the mountains, and it's all his family. He has like the biggest black family in all of my whole town.
But it's not the blue people, right? Because that was another family that occupied an entire town in the mountains.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think
I'll
it
tell
was
you about it after
the
the
blue. I
show.
don't think it was the blue people. But in Brownsville, it was Taskers, Rideouts, and Joneses, and that's
Spoon
all.
Hours.
Spoon Hours. That's all his family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty big.
Yeah.
Pretty big family.
Okay.
So I needed a gig, and I got a part-time job. I didn't just dive into anything, and he was there for me. Gave me a little. I enjoyed that job. Hooked me up.
And I was doing pretty good then too.
Yes, she was.
I had a little run
Yeah, she was.
of doing doing life okay at that time.
Yeah. That's kind of when things I guess made a turn.
Yeah.
I just slowed everything down and started working. My wife was a huge part of my recovery, and then of course the birth of my first son also, and it kind of skyrocketed from there. I started out working with adjudicated youth for years. That was like that was my favorite population, and a lot of them didn't have fathers, so it was kind of like a natural, kind of thing. And eventually got into outpatient therapy, which then led me to addictions, because I saw where the issues really, really were.
Yeah.
So here I am.
And so professionally, you're still more on the addiction side of
Now,
things?
definitely. That's more I've done almost every facet of therapy and counseling. Family-based, in school, outpatient, rehabs, and now kind of MAT clinics. I did that too.
See, you just have like a wealth of experience, like lived, witnessed, helped through, that you're
100%.
just bringing to the table for your clients.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I love my job. I love what I do. It's like no better feeling than helping somebody out, or even just I keep it simple, just them having somebody they can talk to. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't have that. That's generally how I do therapy. We're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
We'll get to everything else when we get to it, right? But for right now, we're just talking, and so far so good.
Awesome. How long have you been doing that now?
The addiction side.
Yeah.
5 years, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 5 years.
But when you first started out, wasn't you like going to people's houses? Wasn't that
That
part
was
of
the
your job?
family-based side. That's when I did family-based. I mean, that's when I really saw where the issues really were.
Rolling up to people's houses and checking up on them. And
Yeah, that was a
stuff
rough
like that.
gig.
Yeah.
Like kind of like defects or
Doing therapy in people's houses. We were like the last line of defense before the child was taken out of the house.
Gotcha.
So,
That sounds hard.
like an 8-month program. It was. There was many nights where I had to come home and strip on the patio and put my clothes in the garbage bag because the house I was in had bed bugs, fleas, cockroaches. So it was you were in kind of some bad spots, trailers with holes in the floor. Yeah, it was pretty rough, but a lot of it was addiction,
Yeah.
right? So we were sent there for the child. It's not until you get there, and if you have you have a decent mind, like you realize where the real issue is, and it's always the parent. So why is this 5-year-old kid running around biting all these kids and destroying your house?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Like there's something here. So I started to kind of lean into that, and I was an addict and kind of understand. So it kind of was a natural fit for me.
It's like a familiar. It's like even though when you describe like these really bad situations that you would walk into. It wasn't like something like, it wasn't like you was walking in Mars. It's like
No.
you are in the realm, like you know, this isn't, it's shocking and sad, but it's not that shocking and sad where I can't be sincerely helpful and
be
understanding.
effective. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I played with, you know, my clients, their siblings, while like because he had to go in with a partner. So while my partner would, you know, maybe do therapy session with one of the, I'd entertain the kids. And I've been in the room where I'm watching like bed bugs crawl on the bed. And there's, you know, we're playing with toys, but I got to keep that, you know, in order because I'm there to help those, you know, those children and in those moments. But when you see it, you're just, man, it's crazy that this is how they have to live.
Yeah.
You know, so, and a lot of it was stem from addiction. Parents had addiction and were neglectful, you know, to the kids. So,
man, I was thinking about like if I had to do a job like that, I would come home and cry.
I tell you what, you learn how to compartmentalize a lot. Like since I've done so many different facets, I'm able to, I can compartmentalize all of it. So like when I leave work, like it's over. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I turn my radio on, I drive on the highway, and I'm husband and dad automatically.
How long did it take you to get to that point where you were able to leave work at work?
2-3 years. And I'm not saying that in a bragging way. Like it took me 2-3 years because I did almost break like after a year of it because I wanted to change everybody.
Yeah.
Thought I'd answered everybody's issue.
Yeah. Gung ho in it.
Oh man.
Knee deep in the change.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when it doesn't start working out,
You start
exactly
freaking
how
out like,
you
what am I
feel
doing
it
wrong?
should.
Yeah. Is that by nature I'm a perfectionist, so it should work out, right?
So
But-
your options was either learn to compartmentalize or break.
Well, so really, it kind of happened by accident. I found this gym that I belong to, and that helped channel like my anger and frustration, and I got to get kind of all that stuff off. And that wasn't my intent when doing it. Actually, you know what? Wasn't my intent. It was my wife's intent. She wanted me to go do it. So I did it by myself, but you know, doing it with other people was kind of what I needed to be around. You know, outside of the home and found the gym and kind of learn how to channel that stuff. And it just, the stress of the work doesn't really bother me. You know, I always say I have my own set of issues. Like I can't take yours out home. I can't take yours home. Like I can't because there's too much other stuff to deal with. So
yeah, I have
I'd lose my mind if I did that.
Yeah, I have a friend he's the helper, you know, so like when there's a situation, like if I'm going through something, you know, he's one of the people that I'm like, I want to process this out, but he wants to fix. So I'll be like, hey buddy, I'm like, I'm not asking you to take this on.
Okay.
I just need to get it out.
Yeah.
And then like he'll try to help and I'm like, hey, this is not your problem. I was like, it's really not even my problem. I just need to get it out and then I'm good, you know? And so it's just like, but then I turn it back on him and I'm like, so what's going on with you? Why do you want to, why do you want to take this on so bad? Where's your outlet?
I feel like
what are you,
you're trying to fix me. What makes you want to do that?
We do it to each other, and so it's keeping that balance because we both already established the gym is an outlet, but then it's like it stopped working. Yeah. You gotta add another one in there.
We need dual outlets. We need the
This
special
I got like
plug.
6. I got the whole extension strip.
The special plugs. Got the European plug outlet. All that. Different volts.
Oh, yeah. What about your start into counseling? Where did you start? And
well, to be honest with you, right? So the idea of that was given to me a long time ago. I hate talking about continuing talking about jail and stuff like that, but I was in an institute. I was in a jail, and I met this gentleman from Guyana who was an old head, and we became friends, and we would work in the same place, just us two, for portions of the day. And he told me, he was like, you know, have I been to school? And I was like, yeah, not really. He was like, you need to go to school and take all this stuff that you did and make sense of it, and make money with it and make a career with it. And at the time, I was like, what do you mean? Like I do and sell drugs. It's my life. He was like, no, you got to take the experience and be helpful and you know, like he's to me like something like human services or counseling or therapy or something like that. And that sparked whenever he said it. I didn't know anything about it, nothing like that. And when I started dating my wife, she was like, because at that time I was like, I think I was like frying chicken at a buffet bar, right? And she asked me, she was like, do you ever think about like a career or what you'd like to do or how you'd like to make an impact? And when she said that, I thought about that dude immediately. I said, I was thinking about counseling or something like that. And she was like, great. And then like just from that, I think I like a big part of the beginning of our relationship is like she was kind of like making a project out of me a little bit, and she was like, oh, that's what you want to do? And then literally the next night I had like all these universities to choose from. Like, I think this is be the one. What do you think about this one? This one has a great psychology program. And she was like, she's like she's an ace. Like, she's pretty amazing in academia. So she was like breaking these things down. I didn't know what any of that was, man. I was going, this is just off of what I said. I had no idea that she was going to come to me with these options. But it was after that conversation, and she really said, I think this university right here is like everything that, you would really do well there. And I said, all right. And I took the aptitude test and everything like that and got accepted. And that's how that started. And it wasn't like, I kind of like went into it, like not knowing what in the world I was going to do, but it started shaping me as the days went by. You know what I mean? But even after my degree and everything, I was so green to anything at all. And I said to myself, I got this bachelor's degree. It was such an amazing accomplishment for me to have that I thought I could like, that it's legit. I could like, my idea was, and I did it. Like, I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going into one of these, like, I'm going in the hood. I'm going to see what the counseling's like. I'm going to show them I got a degree. And, of course, I'm going to get hired, and I'm going to run Atlanta. Like, that was in my head. Like, I was confident I could do that. And nobody called me back. And I was just dropping my resume off in all these different places. And they were like, no, I had no idea of, like, the credentialing that was necessary and stuff like that. But then at that same time, like almost like simultaneously, I met Christian. So and this is a God thing too, because it's like my efforts in this are very minimal. I saw a dude that he had a show. I wanted to share my story. He said, okay, I come over, we're talking. I like, we're getting to know each other. And I'm like, bro, I don't know, man, I got my resume all over Atlanta, man. Shit ain't working out. You know what I mean? He was like, where did you go? And I told him, I was like, I went to Liberty. And he was like, oh, I got a friend that has a counseling agency at Liberty, well, you should go meet him. He said, here, let me give you his number. And he gave me his number. And like, as soon as I met him, I started interning there. And 6 years later, I'm a partner there. You know what I mean? So wow. It's wild. You know what I mean? And I always tell everybody, it's like, it's never like, living my life of recovery, like, and the things that I'm able to do and I'm blessed to do today, it wasn't like from this like gritty, grindy, oh man, I'm gonna, I didn't have this like huge ambition or nothing like that. I just had like, to me, I just felt like I had this sincere want to help. Like, when I was locked up for years, my prayer was like, God, man, just put me in a position to be helpful. That was a repeated prayer for years for me. And like, again, like, that's the only way I can logically see something beyond me put me in a position to like make my dreams come true, really. In more ways than one. Like, in one way, I did sincerely want to be helpful to a community that was me. You dig what I'm saying? Like, this, like, y'all are me. Like, that's how I say, like, y'all are me in one way or another. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like, I'm looking at me. I don't care what you physically look like, but I know we can relate on many different levels of the things that happen in our lives, or how we think about things, or how we're trying to do things better, right? But it was, again, I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna, I'm coming up with this big plan, or I'm gonna get to the top, or anything like that. This stuff like was blessed as a gift to me. And I believe it's because I really like sincerely depended on my higher power to do it, to help me at it. That's it.
Yeah. There was no way around it. I've never been denied a job, and I got 2 serious felonies on my record.
Me too.
And I've never been denied any job I've had. All the ones I'm telling you, like, I've never been denied a job. and there's no way around it.
I really don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's
I don't
like
know.
something that,
I don't know how else to say that.
Yeah,
like
I feel like I'm along for the ride in my life, and that's my God's honest truth. Like,
that's all I got. I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't manipulate a way
Yeah.
to do it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a side card. I didn't have like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I didn't have this joker in my hand through all these awesome situations in my life.
No,
You
I was truly blessed. I
Yeah.
got a beautiful, caring, totally understanding wife, and beautiful kids. I love what I do, for work. We've been through the mud, right? But
Sarah, I'm homeless. I'm homeless. Okay? I'm not homeless like in a tent. I'm talking about I'm homeless very similar when we walked through Atlanta when I picked you up from the airport, okay? Like I'm one of those for a long time. And I was doing it voluntarily. Like if I would have did things a couple different way, I had a family that loved me that would take me in, but they couldn't take me because I had a needle in my arm.
Yeah.
So I much rather chose having a needle in my arm, close as I can be to my plug, in these streets, and I lived there. Like I don't know if anybody ever gets an opportunity to look at North Philadelphia, right? If you ever get a chance, it's called the Badlands. You can just look up Badlands, North Philly, okay? And you will see in the morning time when these people go to get off meaning when they go to get their morning fix, the only way I can the only thing I can compare it to is if a line to go to a concert or a line to get on the biggest ride at Six Flags or something. It's equivalent to that. That's how I'm not exaggerating. You have to see it, right? The line to go hook up with these drugs is that big. And I swear to you, I was always the first one there because that's where I slept. And I didn't even sleep because I was so high the night before. I was just up for days, and I'd be in that huge line. I was first every day in my active addiction in different cities. You see what I'm saying? Homeless, right? So from that to sitting here and talk to you and to talk with you about it.
Yeah.
Right? That's not. And again, I'm not climbing Mount Everest with this big energy, trying to change the world. It's it is being blessed to me. It's a gift to me.
Being handed to us.
I don't know how, you know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I completely relate to that because it's everything in my life that I have tried to have an active hand in where it's this is going to be so good for me. And then it crashes and burns. And then when I finally am just sit back and I'm all right, I'm living my life. I'm doing what's in front of me. And then all these things start happening. I'm oh, all I needed to do was just let go. That's it. Because I was homeless in the same way. I had family. They took me in, and then I lived with them for a week, and I was wait up. I'm you're not dumb. You're gonna know I can't be here. I can't be here if I want to do drugs the way I want to do drugs.
That's it.
So I was actively in the dead of winter, sleeping in my car. Just thank God, dead of winter down here and not in Philly. Very different story, but still sleeping in my car that had no heat.
Same thing, man.
And it's just because I literally picked the drugs. I remember telling someone the first time I got sober, I really wanted to drink again. And she was if you drink, she was you're just going to drink everything away. And she's and you'll be under a bridge and all you'll have is your bottle of alcohol. And I said, well, I have my bottle of alcohol. And so I left and I was I switched alcohol for drugs and was this is way better. I don't want to give this up for anything. Gave up my family to have it. Gave up a roof over my head to have it. Gave up showers to have it. This was the most important. It was the one, we didn't have the line to the dealer's house, but he posted his hours on Snapchat.
Now it's
and
a whole.
So it was always, has he updated his story?
Yes.
Is he open?
That's wild. I missed that whole train.
It was always the
but
first
I can
car
imagine
there.
That
get
is
that.
amazing.
And then I'm just now entering in my life where it's okay, I let go. I don't know what's best for me. I've put out what I want to do. Right. And I'm doing what I can, but I'm in no way, in charge of what's happening. And now it's things that I can't explain are just happening. And I'm
yeah, it's something, it's definitely beyond us. And like I said earlier, I'm in my 14th year of recovery, right? So I've been clean for a second, okay? And if I today think of accomplishing something and I get a tad bit obsessive with it, where I'm only thinking about me in the process and how I'm going to do it and how I'm going to get it done, I promise you 100% I will ruin that shit to the ground. It will be rubbish and crumbs by the time I'm finished. And I say, oh, well, I guess that's not it. That's not it. I will, if it's not beyond me, and it could be a lot of things. Like if I don't take advantage of my brothers, my friends, if I don't take advantage of the ones that love me, if I don't take advantage of my network, if I don't take advantage of my community and have them all be a part of it, of anything that I want to accomplish, I most likely will fail it. And that's the truth. Like, that's just how it works for me.
Yeah.
I got to have a little bit of all that in the mix. I need to make a call to somebody, shoot. I can't tell you how many times I've given Christian like this big elaborate dream of mine, you know what I mean? And they're still in there, and just to get that feedback and that back and forth of it, you know what I mean? Just like, we talked about crooks to books, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that happens, it's probably not going to be because, we created a whole curriculum
for sure,
specifically designed for it. If it does, it's probably going to be beyond our imagination how it got there in the first place. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, we still have a few minutes before we need to wrap up. But what would you say? You what?
Dude.
I said time about that.
Yeah. Y'all are very interesting and fascinating, and I didn't know we were gonna be talking about bed bugs, but here we are. I'm gonna have to check myself when I leave. I don't know. But in general, like as counselors, and I'm sure a lot of people who watch the show are either in counseling, looking for counseling. What are there such a thing as a red flag in a therapist?
Jeez, we don't have a few minutes left.
Yo, look, if this is the last question, it's the last question. If it's that important, I mean.
One that comes off like they know everything.
What'd you say? I didn't hear what you said.
One that comes off like they know everything.
Yeah.
One that comes off like they have the answer to all of life's problems. For sure. I heard that a lot. In the addiction field, sometimes you are somebody's eighth counselor or eighth therapist. You know what I mean? So I never want to come off overbearing, right? I'm no different than you. I'm just on the side of the table right now. And that's kind of what I always want to put off, because that, especially now with the state of the clientele, one, you got to be as genuine as possible. You got to keep it real with them, because they'll only respect that. And you might be their 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th counselor, right? So
they might be nice on knowing, what you're supposed to be doing.
They can definitely know what they can tell you how to do your job for sure.
Yeah, they know what they want by that time.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But red flags, I think somebody that acts like they know, to have it all figured out. I don't. Every day, one foot in front of the other. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Do you have anything to
add? You know what, man? To be honest with you, like what I'm really optimistic about when it comes to counseling and therapy, that right now in life, I don't think there's been a wider range of methodologies towards counseling, right? Yeah. So there's all different kinds. And I feel like, there's a lot of options. So I don't want to judge on, I know some people that really like to kind of teach, and the people that they connect to want to be taught something. You know what I'm saying? I know people that, are way more kind of clinically smart, more smart than I am at a big time. And I know they have a population of people that really get help that way, understanding their diagnosis, coming up with situations like that or reasons why. And I think, the whole thing about diagnosis, I think it's very empowering to know that about yourself. Yeah, for sure. But, but me personally, I'm not, that's not how I get down. You know what I mean? But kind of like what Junior said, I think the client really knows. Like the client really knows if it's going to work. And if that client comes back again, by their choice, then whatever the clinician is doing is probably working. And sometimes that comes to an end. I mean, we talked earlier, like sometimes these relationships run their course and it's time for something else. And that's great. I mean, that's growth, and no matter how you look at it, you know what I mean? So it's not so much like, in my opinion, like a red flag. If you got the position to be a therapist and you're sincerely trying, I mean, I know if what I do is like, I try my best to be trustful. I try my best to listen, and I try my best to like really like carve out a place in your life where like when you're with me, we're gonna build. Like we're gonna like we're gonna listen to each other. We're gonna take each other's like thoughts and opinions and things that we're going through into consideration. And like in my my philosophy, which really comes from like the steps, right, is that like I'm always, when I'm with you, right, and you're coming to see me to sit down with me, most likely I'm super blessed by it because the therapeutic value of it probably falls back on me more, just to be in the position, in this position in my life to be helpful. Yeah. So like, and again, like people that are looking for therapy and want that, I mean, and I guess I'm really talking about people in like that are like suffer from substance abuse, right? The thing about people in substance abuse, and I don't want to like box anybody in, but like if they're anything like me, like they know when somebody's bullshitting quickly,
very quickly,
right? Like I know when you are full of shit. At least in my eyes, I'm quick. That's not. I can't. No, bro. That's not going to be what I'm going through. So I haven't got that reaction back from me yet.
No.
So I'm hoping, trust, relationship, listening, open-minded, really try to, brainstorm a lot. Somebody that wants to interact with you in that way is a good thing. So, but as red flags, I don't know, I thought about that whenever I was thinking about it. It's hard because I think the client really knows. I put a lot of trust in the client on this, regardless of their like mental health or whatever they're going through. I'm not that anybody can't be like, kind of like manipulated, but man, you got to be a real dog ass dude to have a position as a counselor and like try to manipulate people in an evil way. You know what I'm saying? Like in a dark way.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, if we have Angels of Death, I'm sure that one is yet to be covered on some true crime podcast somewhere.
No. I don't even want to know about them dudes.
And for anybody who's watching the episode tonight who's seeking counseling, whether they're new to recovery or have been in recovery, what resources would you suggest for them to check out to kind of know? Because that's a daunting thing. As someone who's had to find a counselor multiple times, it is probably my least favorite task in the world, and I never know where to start.
Yeah, I mean, well, now we have the benefit of having computers in our hands, so
in psychology today.
Yeah, that, and look at reviews about certain therapists, certain counselors to see if they kind of match up with what you're looking for. And you can always call the places and ask questions of what exactly they offer, and kind of go from there.
It's funny because like I can't like let the cat out of the bag fully, but we are working on that ability to get people connected into like therapy and counseling on a whole new level very soon. And I can't, it's like I'm not privy to talk about it, but we are, that's something that we think about a lot. Like, the way that search engines work right now, it's like there's so much to get to something.
So much, yeah.
You know what I mean? You type in something and you're thinking it's quick, but it's really a pain in the ass because you get stuck with an ad or you get stuck with some like national like thing that has nothing to do.
Oh, the helpline?
Yeah, that. Like,
yeah.
You have to scroll down, and it's like, honestly, like if I'm desperate for something and I'm looking for help, even that process in today's time is like almost makes you just swipe and get off the whole thing.
And then you finally call somebody and then they never call you back. Ran into that a lot.
So I think, I think, but it does have to come around probably in some sort of fashion in that way. I would suggest, hopefully, like, let's say I'm just creating a scenario, but if somebody's in the rooms, they're opening up enough to like seek amongst that community. You know what I mean? You can definitely always go to, this is a shameless plug, but like hopelink.org, like that's a ministry that I work for, that when you call them or when you fill out an application or anything like that, you will get a call back within probably the first 24 hours with somebody on the other line that like is really going to try to help navigate, what they know in this community, in the state of Georgia almost, that he covers. We're able to cover a lot of ground, and there'll be like somebody's going to listen to you. Somebody's going to take like your thoughts into consideration, and somebody's going to help you go through the gamut of like different therapists and different rehabs and different counseling agencies, different IOPs, all that. You know what I mean? That's kind of like our job to do that, really. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Or you can always come to Pathlight Behavioral Health. We'll do what we can to help you.
You're
out
just going to
too.
plug everything.
Yeah. Sorry about that,
What's your
guy.
Psychology Today profile?
David Cleope, Cleope.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight and sharing your stories together. I know I got a lot out of that, and there was a lot of profound and impactful things in there.
Awesome.
And yeah, is there any last thing you would want to say? One last soundbite piece of advice for anyone watching tonight?
What you got, Junebug?
Any piece of advice? Just go after what you know is right. I think that's somewhat one way I live my life. Just go after what you want, what you feel like you're worth. Always push forward, especially in recovery. Every day is not going to be easy, but it always gets better.
I love it. I just want to say that you kicked ass today.
Thank
you.
you.
It was a pleasure hanging out with you. I loved it, right?
Seamless, yep.
This was really cool. Chad, you crushed it. I mean, when I see you guys doing what you're doing, I don't want to be that old. You know what I'm saying? And sound that old, but like, y'all the new blood up in here, and I think you guys are doing a really good job. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys. Seriously.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate it.
We cool with that?
All right. That's a wrap.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think that was good?
Yeah.
Good show, guys. You like it?
Did you really?
Yeah. Good, man.
You guys I was just like, I'm just sitting here. Like,
You know what's
we'll be here
crazy
all
is, like,
night. I'm like,
I always ask, I never know, right?
we'll come back tomorrow, part 2,
Yeah.
part 3, before we leave on Sunday. Like,
Well, we
we're
definitely-
like,